video, I'm going to show you how you can use artificial intelligence as a self-help tool for mental health as well as for personal development. The benefits of using artificial intelligence include accessibility. You can basically use it anytime that you run into an issue, something's bugging you and you kind of want to talk it out, or maybe you want a different perspective on something. It can be anonymous depending on what platform you use. It's a lot smarter than us as human beings. It's really good at just giving me information that I wouldn't have thought about and really going into detail, being super customized to how I need it to help me. So today we are going to talk about two different apps that you can use. The first one is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not anonymous. If you're concerned about that, you can turn off the history and it'll stop it from saving your conversations. Second app is called Earkick. All the information is localized to your device. Earkick is downloadable in the Apple Store. It'll also be available in Android. All of the information that you give that app is stored locally in your phone. So it's totally private. You don't have to sign up to make an account. I'm going to show you how both of them work. We'll do a side-by-side run and I'll show you kind of the different results that you can get from one app to the other. I'm going to put this prompt into ChatGPT. Basically, I'm telling ChatGPT to act as a psychologist with decades of experience that has experience with helping models and social media influencers. I'm also asking ChatGPT to tell me if it understands the instructions so that I can verify it really did understand the instructions. It'll repeat back to me what I've instructed it to do. So we can start out the chat basically just understanding that ChatGPT knows what I'm wanting from this prompt. I'm going to use an example of external validation. Basically, I'm going to explain to ChatGPT that as a model, I get a lot of external validation from people and that I am worried that I'm internalizing it. I'm also asking ChatGPT to help me reflect on what things I should be asking myself just so I can understand if I have a healthy perspective on it. Okay, so ChatGPT is saying that it's normal to receive external validation. ChatGPT provided me some questions to ask myself. Why I'm in the industry? Am I defining my self-worth solely based on validation? How do I handle criticism or negative feedback? What are my long-term goals? Do I compare myself excessively to others? That's a good one to really reflect on. How do I feel when the spotlight is off? Consider your emotional state when you're not receiving attention or validation. Are you comfortable with yourself and content even in moments of solitude? So that is something really important to reflect on because being in the entertainment space is really fun and it can be very glamorous when, you know, all the cameras and everything are off. Like, how do you feel with yourself? Are you comfortable just like being in your own skin, or are you needing all this like glamour and glitz to feel good about yourself? Am I neglecting other aspects of my life? I remember last year when I was like crazy busy, I was pretty much trying to have 5 different careers at the same time and it didn't work out that well. I remember being so busy, I like neglected my health. I stopped working out as much. I wasn't eating as healthy. I definitely was not taking any time for self-care. I would have times where I was so stressed out, I would basically turn off my phone from the entire world because I had so much stuff to do and it just wasn't healthy. I just burnt myself out. So something really important to keep in check. Have I established a support system? So this is also something that I think is really important to do because as an influencer, none of my friends are in this industry and it's really hard for me to have an outlet where I can kind of talk about the things that I go through. And I've been actively trying to meet other people in the industry just so that I have somebody to talk to and find that it really makes a difference. Like somebody that understands what you're going through, somebody that can just kind of help motivate you when you're kind of down about, you know, whatever it is that you went through. There's a lot of rejection in this industry. Having a good support system is, I think it's super important. Let's put this prompt into Earkick. Earkick is a AI-powered platform that measures and improves your mental health in real time. It auto-detects your mental state, gives you immediate feedback. I think it's important to have both tools because sometimes you might be okay with putting something into ChatGPT that you know that somebody else might read. And then sometimes you might want more privacy, and that's where I would use Earkick. It's also good to kind of like test it out and see what answers you get from both apps. This is basically an AI-powered mental health platform, which means that you don't have to pre-prompt it to act like a psychologist. It just knows what to do. So let's put the same prompt that I put to ChatGPT into Earkick, and let's see what it says and if it varies. So I'm just going to click on chat with me. Basically, as soon as you download the app, you can use it right away. Let's say this is anxiety. Okay, so Earkick says, that's a great question. It's natural to seek validation from others, but it's important to also have a healthy self-image. May I ask, how do you feel about yourself when you don't receive external validation? Do you still feel like you're still valuable and worthy without it? Typing in, sometimes when I don't have the external validation, I feel like I need it to help me feel good about myself. Let's see what it says. It's common to feel that way, but relying solely on external validation for self-worth can be problematic. It's important to develop a sense of self-worth that comes from within rather than relying solely on others. One thing you might try is to focus on your personal goals and values. For example, you might ask yourself what your goals are and what values are most important to you. They both gave different answers. I feel like ChatGPT, it gave a pretty thorough answer on a lot of good things that I should be thinking about. Let's try another situation that's a little bit more personal. We're going to tell ChatGPT that somebody made a comment about my body, made me uncomfortable, and also made me question if I needed to make some changes. Can you give me advice on how I can reframe this? So ChatGPT is sorry that somebody made a comment about my body, and basically explains that body image can be sensitive and challenging aspect of modeling and influencer industry. And here are some steps to help reframe the situation. Acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to feel uncomfortable and affected by such comments. Start by acknowledging your emotions and allowing yourself to feel whatever you feel without judgment. This is something that I really started working on more as of lately. Really acknowledging my feelings. Like, it's okay that you felt that way. It's normal you felt that way. If you're angry about something, it's okay. Don't try to tell yourself it's wrong to feel angry or ashamed or whatnot. And I have found it helpful to just let myself feel those feelings, because if I try and say that they're wrong, it just makes it worse, because it just makes you feel more shame about it. So I totally agree with this suggestion from ChatGPT. Separate others' opinions from self-worth. Remember that one person's comment does not define your worth or beauty. Consider the source. Was it someone who matters to you, or was it a random online comment? Consider the credibility and relevance of the source. So this is another good one, because it's some random person commented on your body. Let's say that was a situation. So who is this person to you? You don't even know them. So why does their opinion matter? Let's put this into Earkick. Sorry to hear that somebody made a comment. It's understandable that this will make you question yourself and your body. Let's talk about how you can reframe. First, it's important to remember that everyone's body is unique and beautiful. Nobody's perfect. Instead of focusing solely on your body, try to focus on the positive aspects of yourself as a whole. Think about your personality traits, accomplishments, hobbies, passions. These are all things that make you who you are, and they're just as important, if not more important, than your physical appearance. It's also helpful to remember that other people's opinions do not define us. While it can be difficult to ignore negative comments, try to remind yourself that what somebody else says about you does not determine your wealth or value. You're in control of how you feel. You have the power to choose to focus on the positive. So instead of getting bogged down by negative comments or criticism from others, if you find that you have a hard time reframing, it might be helpful to talk to somebody. Not a bad answer. I think I like ChatGPT's more. Let's try one more. My friend seems to be jealous of me and the success that I have as an influencer. I'm really confused by this, and I'm trying to understand why she might be jealous and how I can handle this. Dealing with jealousy in friendships, especially in the influencer industry, can be challenging. It's important to approach the situation with understanding and empathy. Here are some steps to help you understand. for open communication, listen actively, give your friends space to share feelings and thoughts, empathize, reflect on your actions, offer support, set boundaries, encourage their success, encourage your friends' pursuits, maintain other friendships. Don't let the issues with one friendship consume your entire social life. It can be difficult and confusing when someone close to us appears to be jealous of our success. It's important to approach this with compassion and understanding while also setting boundaries and taking care of yourself. First, it may be helpful to try and talk to your friend about how you're feeling. Approach the conversation from a place of concern rather than confrontation. Let them know that you've noticed some tension between you and you're wondering if there's anything going on that they'd like to talk about. Try to listen to their perspective and understanding where you're coming from, even if you don't agree with it. If your friend is indeed jealous, it might be helpful to remind them that your success does not take away from their own. Everyone's journey is unique, and just because you're succeeding in one area doesn't mean they can't succeed in their own. Encourage them to focus on their own goals and passions and offer your support and encouragement. However, if your friend continues to act out in negative ways, it might be necessary to set some boundaries. Let them know that while you value their friendship, you won't tolerate any behavior that is hurtful or negative towards you. It's okay to distance yourself from the situation. I do like how Earkick responded in this situation. The response is very similar to a therapy session. So if this was actually being discussed with a counselor live in a session, that would be something a counselor would say to you. Personally, I find them very helpful. If I have something that's on my mind that's bugging me, I really like using these AI tools just to help me not let it like swirl around in my head and get bigger, and then I go into like assumptions of things. It's just really helpful to have an outlet to kind of talk about it. Especially with like these AI tools, you don't have to worry about being judged. You don't have to worry about anybody repeating what you're saying. Let me know down in the comments below if you did try and if any of it helped you.